Welcome back to the house. Today we're talking about 3 lane play mistakes that everyone should avoid. All right, so mistake number 1 is all about starting too deep on the lanes, especially for a high rev bowler like myself. When you start too deep on the lanes, a lot of times it leads to a lot of splits. You don't know whether you should move right or left or deeper or straighter because you're already in the middle of the lane usually. So what I like to do, especially in those first like 10 minutes of practice that I get, is I like to start as far left as possible with my first couple shots with a smoother ball, or even my biggest, most hooking ball that I have. Start as far left as possible and then gradually move across the lane. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. All right, so obviously that hooked a little too much down lane. I'm probably gonna gradually move right, not only my feet, but also my break point. My break point right there was around probably 3, 4, 5 down lane, so I'm probably gonna move it into 6, 7, 8, and then also move my feet in another 5 or 10. All right, so even though that struck obviously not the ideal line, I might move probably not as much as the first one, but I'm gonna move definitely a little more off that, probably another 4 or 5 with my feet. All right, so now I've moved probably 15 from that like starting position. Now I'm probably a little too deep. So I'm gonna find somewhere in between that like 3rd and 4th move where I can hit the pocket consistently. Ball was going a little too far down lane, slowed down from that like straighter angle, and bang, bang. Oh! But now I'm in the right place. That's what it's all about. If you 6-pin, you're just 1 shot closer to a 6-bagger. 4-pins are only 4-baggers. Sorry, righties. I've made that executive decision. Why? Because lefties strike more. All right, we're done. We're done. Next topic. Frankie, 45 minutes later, trying to double with every single ball he's got. He's on the last ball, on the 2nd strike. Gotta hook, gotta push. He's so close to a 4-bagger. He's so close to a 4-bagger. So mistake number 2 is gonna be throwing too weak of a ball. And the thing that usually tricks people about throwing too weak of a ball is it snaps really hard to recover. But just like mistake number 1, when your ball starts going too far down lane, you're entering the zone where you're going to be leaving a lot of splits. Whether light or your ball snaps too hard and goes through the face, you're gonna be leaving a lot of splits. So here is my weaker ball, and I'll show you how much different the reaction is than the ball that was a lot smoother. As I said, way too far down lane. The other ball never would have done that and never even would have tried to go that far down lane. It at least would have, you know, come up and left maybe like a 3-pin. Obviously that wasn't my best shot, but it would have left something that was a little easier to make than a head-pin combo. Once again, just like a general rule of thumb, try and start as far to the outside as you can with the biggest ball, and then adjust down and in from there, where your first move should be in, and then maybe your next move should be down. And don't be afraid, if the ball down doesn't look good, don't be afraid to just go back up to that bigger, slower, earlier hooking ball. Yeah, it's just not picking up early enough. When I wanted it to hook, it just went another like 3 or 4 feet down lane before it started to make that motion. I think that ball would look good maybe 2 or 3 games from now, but right now it's way too early in the block or in the set for me to throw that ball. So any ball that you like 3-7 if you're a lefty, or you 2-10 if you're a righty, very clear indication your ball's either going too far down lane, because if it wasn't, you'd leave just a 3-pin or just a 7-pin, or you're a little too deep and your angles are a little too open to get your ball to pick up in the right part of the lane. Just leaving more spares I don't want to shoot, the hard ones. The bonus mistake that you need to avoid is missing your spares. The key is to make all of your spares. Make your spares. Don't do that. Make your spares. Mistake number 3 to avoid would be kind of getting caught up in one zone and not being able to play multiple parts of the lane. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how you can maximize your versatility and play a little more than just your league shot. All right, so the way that you can be a little more versatile, in my mind, two things that are a little easier than, you know, a lot of the more complex things that pros do. Number one is gonna be, you know, have a couple different balls that do much different things. Have one that hooks a lot, have one that snaps a lot down lane, and then have one right in the middle that's like your benchmark shape. And then tip number two is gonna be to try and change your hand position. Learn how to rotate a little more, learn how to roll it a little more, and that'll help you maximize not only those different balls, but also when you play a different part of the lane, how to match up the right way. So I'm gonna play up the gutter here, you know, up a little straighter angle that you can still, you know, you can still probably play a similar shot to this at league. I'm gonna really get my hand up the back, really roll it, and up my ball speed to keep it on line and keep it matched up to the pocket. And like those are the kind of hits that I'm gonna get when I do that. I'm gonna get, you know, a 5-pin that goes late because my ball's really rolling up and squaring off to the pocket because it's rolling so early and my hand is so far up the back. So I'm gonna move probably 5 to the right of that, try and slow the speed down a little bit, increase the rotation to get a little more angle down lane, and yeah, so still a good shot. Even though I 7-10, still a really good shot. Hit the pocket, and now my adjustment from there, I would probably get my hand a little more around the side of it to get it going through the pocket at a little sharper angle. A 7-10 usually isn't too far down lane as much as it is your ball rolling in a little flat. So this is gonna be my last move, and you know, the furthest zone that I'm gonna go to the right. We're only about 3 games in, but this is gonna be a more tournament move where you're in like game 5 or 6 or 7, not so much league where, you know, league you might need to change balls and move your feet a couple times, but this is a tournament play move. I'm gonna move another zone, slow my speed down, and get my hand even more around it. And again, like I said, it's probably not quite ready yet, but in about a game, that ball would be perfect in that speed and that hand would be perfect for that zone right there. So the one thing we're really trying to emphasize here and trying to help you guys out with is not just getting stuck in that same zone all the time. If you want to graduate from league or even score better than you already do in league and you want to start bowling more tournaments, I would say work on your versatility just a little bit. Try and expand not maybe your arsenal, but also maybe the things that you can do with your hand that also maximizes what your balls can do differently. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you listening to our 3 tips. Don't be afraid, subscribe to the channel, comment below, and let us know how your most recent tournaments are going. Or leagues, tournaments or leagues are going. Peace.